Welcome back to another episode of the Column Podcast. I'm your host Ranath, and today we have our co-host Ratish. Today, as you can see, there's three screens. There are three screens here, rather than the two that you normally see. And today we have a special guest, Tisal. Thank you for joining us on the Column Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks both of you for having me. So honored to
It's a
be here.
pleasure, man. It's
Honestly,
a
Yeah, man.
pleasure to
it's
have you, brother.
Yeah, man. Every
honestly
guest
thank you.
every guest we have, it's an absolute pleasure. It's very difficult finding
Eh,
guests and getting them. We admire your bravery
Seriously, dude.
and
Yeah.
your what do you call for helping us out. So before we move on, let's
No
give a
worries.
small introduction about this for those of you who don't know. He's a junior art director at Magic Mango. We'll talk about that. That's what we're talking about today. Um, so huge shout out to Tisal Hans. We'll put the link in description to his Instagram. Wow, you guys should check out his Instagram. He's got 4D renders and Photoshop manipulations of these really cool images. It's insane. I saw these. I just stumbled upon this Instagram, on his Instagram page, art page. Is it art page?
It is an art page.
It's an
It is
art
an
page,
art page.
right? I stumbled upon it. I DM'd. I was like, well, we gotta get this guy. This is not Photoshop. This was 4D
It's
renders, right?
some, yeah,
Some
man, it's some
cinema.
Yeah,
great
cinema for
work. It's some
cinema
great
footage.
work, dude.
I've
Yeah,
never
it's
seen. I've
great.
never seen. Like I've seen, but I've never seen like that, right, from a Sri
Like,
Lankan person. So I was like, no, we gotta
Thank
get
you,
this.
man. Thanks.
We gotta get this guy.
I appreciate it a
So
lot.
that's the thing. No worries, man. So that's how we reached out, and then the man replied, and we got him on the show. So shall we start off with the Magic Mango? What is Magic Mango? Where do you work, bro?
So right now I'm currently working at an advertising agency called Magic Mango. It's a 360 agency. So we basically an advertising company. So when you think about advertising, Magic Mango does it all. So like so we does like campaigns, we just BTL, ATL stuff, digital campaigns. We have our own digital team also.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined with Mango about like a month ago. I joined with them like last January, which is this January, which was like a month back basically.
Oh, okay, okay. Congrats.
So yeah, so ever since
Oh.
then, so I was working at a couple of places before. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's I think that's I
That's
mean,
all,
should
yeah.
I give it more thinking about Magic Mango because like I don't know what to say because like
Uh,
no,
I
it's
think
just
yeah,
a great introduction, man. Yeah, that's
that's what
enough.
we,
That's enough.
that's
Let's
what we
talk
right
wanted.
about
right
you, dude. Let's talk
That's what
about you, man.
yeah, that's what we wanted to know. What Magic Mango is for people that don't know. So
right yeah
you're a junior art director there. So what is a junior
yes.
art director, and what do you do?
So basically, as my job role, I what I have to do is basically like coming up with campaign ideas, planning campaigns, designing like posters, ads, working with clients. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much those stuff. So I don't you can't exactly like pinpoint down like what's the difference between a designer and an art director because like I
Okay.
started off as a designer. My initial job was graphic designer, creative designer, all sorts of things. Then I became an art director. So it's not that different. So the main difference I would say, being a designer to an art director, I mean, you of course know what does a graphic designer or creative designer does, right? So
Yeah.
pretty much same thing, but more sort of like thinking. You have to think a lot, coming up with like campaigns, coming
Mm-hmm.
up with ideas. So basically, like you have like extra bit of few things in your plate when you're becoming a junior art director, goes up the ladder, creative director, and all that sorts of stuff. So yeah,
So
so
more
basically,
responsibility.
yes, thinking a
That's
lot, designing a lot, basically. But
nice,
yeah,
nice. You're
Okay,
describing my
that's cool, man.
You're
That's cool.
describing my dream job, man.
that's great. I mean,
Yeah, I have been having like a lot of intentions about it, like through our design pattern itself.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a great job. It's very creative, man.
very
Really,
creative.
it's very creative.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. That's probably like the main reason that I chose it. So yeah,
That's the thing. Like even
Yeah.
like I shielded my creative side when we did exams, right, Ratish? O levels, A levels. We really shielded that creative side. But when I really unlocked it, when I did Photoshop manipulations myself, I loved it. So you know, I really want to, hopefully in the future branch out to your area. Hopefully,
that's great.
yeah, that's the thing. So, um, what was the age
Yeah.
that you started working? You said it was 15 or something, right? When we had the call.
No, so I started designing when I was 15. Like
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
didn't work. I started just, working around with the tools like Photoshop and Illustrator.
Oh, okay,
Then
okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
started to like properly work when I was 16. After like right
Hmm.
after I'm done with my O levels, like
Mm.
you get
Okay.
about like 3-4 months of a break, usually in Sri
Mm-hmm.
Lanka,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
till the results comes out. So through this time, I was just designing on like designing to Instagram and just working on some few like freelance projects.
Okay.
Then I was reached out to. So I was basically working with my computer society, like in my
Okay.
school, like the IT club, or whatever you call
Oh,
it.
okay.
So this was like my beacon of getting the design knowledge, working with those elder people who's like few years elder than me. So they were teaching me, and I was learning. So I was self-taught. So then, like in 2018, I think April, I got a job offer through one of my friend to this place called ODOC. I'm
Okay.
not sure. A lot of people whether they heard about it. It's like a online doctor booking platform thing. You can take a video
Oh,
call
okay.
to a doctor basically.
Oh, okay, okay.
So they wanted a designer to do their like artworks and stuff. So there was an opening, and one of my school old boys was working there, which I knew through school. So he was like, "Hey, we have this opening. Why don't you join us?" I'm like, that was just mind blowing because I'm like 16. I had no
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
fucking like working skills or anything, and I just set up like a rough portfolio and I sent it to them. After like a couple of weeks, they were like, "Why don't you come to an interview? We would like to see how in person." So I went there, and after that I started work.
Damn.
That's
Just like
how it
that.
started. So
Just like that.
just like
Opportunity,
that, yeah.
opportunity knocked on your
Damn.
door. Yeah. But
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
yeah, but then again, you need the talents, right? The talents and the, how should I say, the
That matters. That
perseverance
matters. The skills matters, man. The hard work
and
you
the
put on matters,
and
right?
the
I
most
think
important thing is
yes,
connections. I think you made a lot of
yes.
good connections.
Connections that you make through people, exactly.
I think that's very
Yeah.
important.
It
That's
is. It
amazing.
is pretty important.
That
Yeah.
is amazing. So you said something about clients, right? Working with clients. So what sort of clients come? And heard campaigns. So do government officials come as well?
Not so. I don't. I haven't worked with like government projects yet. I
Yeah.
hopefully might in the future. I would never know. But like I work with few. I work with like really small brands. Like I don't know if you guys heard Brand Space, Brandmark, and they're like Master Divers. They're like really small brands,
Okay.
Okay.
and the big recognized brands like Hutch is Hutch. Hutch,
Yeah.
Yeah, Hutch. You have worked
Airtel.
with Hutch.
Yeah, so that was like one of my earliest clients, like in
Okay.
2019 that I worked with them. When I was at Surge, I was at Surge Global. That was like my
Oh, okay.
second job.
Okay. Okay.
So like Hutch, Airtel, uh, Carlsberg. I'm pretty sure you heard about it if you
Yeah. Of
guys
course.
You
drink.
have been. You in Carlsberg too.
So Lion Brewery, Carlsberg,
Okay.
so HSBC. Those are like more recognizable brands that I work with.
Mm-hmm,
Nice.
mm-hmm.
So early, like before I joined Magic Mango, I was more working with a digital heavy person. I was not doing campaigns. That we were more focused on how we can grow a brand or like promote them on like digitally.
Mm-hmm.
But joining new players as an art director, it kind of changed the whole thing around. That I got into more strategical way of like thinking about campaigns and planning campaigns and coming up with copies and so all sorts of
Mm-hmm.
things. So kind of gave me like a very new, it opened like a new path for me to see because me coming from a digital background and just there's like a whole different thing. It's pretty fun. So clients wise, yeah, like pretty much working with
That's why.
clients
Yeah.
sometimes
That's
fun,
Was it?
sometimes really messed up, but yeah.
Yeah. What was your biggest campaign you consider?
mm,
So uh biggest campaign that I worked with when I was at this place called Omnicom Media Group
Mm-hmm.
last year. So I was working in digital. So we worked with Fashion Buck for a Black Friday campaign,
Okay.
which
Okay.
uh, which I think after leaving Omnicom, I think they won an award for that campaign.
oh.
Oh.
So that was probably like the biggest campaign. It's not that big, but like we
Mm-hmm.
drove so many sales. So it was like one of the it was like the
Super
only
great.
big campaign that I was a part of. Like I was actually played like a very small role. Like I was like me and another designer was working on the pieces content for social media and all that stuff. So I think that was, yeah, I think that's it. That was like the biggest one that I worked so far.
Oh
Nice.
right, man.
Fantastic.
So yeah,
So you said there were a few downfalls, not downfalls, like there are perks of the jobs, but there's also, some clients that you don't like, and also we don't want to talk about the clients, of course,
right,
on
right,
public,
okay, yeah.
but what would you
Yeah.
consider like the disadvantages or like the downsides of being a designer or a junior art director of what you do basically?
So overall, being a designer, starting off as a designer and just continuing it for years, the only thing that bothered my head a lot is time management,
Oh,
which I
Okay.
don't have.
same
Right now, I'm
here.
still working on it. I'm still
Something to
working
work
on
on,
it.
man.
Yes, I'm
Something to.
still working. Like I've pretty much improved since last year, which I'm so glad. But I'm still
That's great.
constantly
That's
keep
great.
working on it. So like sometimes you have to go finish things off around like 3 in the morning and get up at 7 and get to work. Sometimes things like that. But right now we are mostly working from home, which is insanely good.
Mm.
But like last 2 years, sleepless nights are always there, but it's fun. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds very hectic. You just waking up at night, what is this and all. But like, I think the only thing that I would consider is like when you actually love it,
Yeah.
even after like staying up sleepless night and all that stuff. End of the day, once you're done with your work, you just feel genuinely happy about the work that you did. So
Exactly.
I
After
think
it was done, genuinely
after it
nothing
was
matters.
done, when you see the outcome and it's so
Yeah.
good and it's worth your time, it's worth all that effort, like waking up at night. So it's pretty good. So things like that, and working with difficult clients where they don't understand certain things, how digital like social media and things work, which can be frustrating, but those things are always there. I think, yeah, that's small things.
What were the few difficult ones? Like you don't have to mention the names at all. Like what are the few difficult ones?
Okay, of course I can't mention the name, which is not good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So mostly it was about like I freelance with the client. This was not done by an agency like I worked with. This was I was handling the client directly, where he had no idea about social media, but he wanted me to work on like, the social media campaign,
Okay.
and just making certain ads and sending it to the ad guys. So even though he didn't know about how it works, he wanted to be inside of it, which is great. Like I appreciate like people want to take the knowledge out from people that they know, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
problem was he was not willing to learn anything new, right?
Okay.
So I mean, he wanted to be in and learn from it, but when we means like correct something, okay, this is not how it's supposed to work. Like this is how it should work. He was kind of trying to defend it with what he knows, which outside from like digital, like social media or like advertising or designing or anything.
Okay.
So that was bit hectic. Took me a couple of days to convince him this is how it should work, which actually like at the end.
Okay, this also
Oh,
earlier you said I remember you say something about Surge Global. So I've
yeah,
heard this. I know the guy behind it. No, as in like I've seen him on social media as well.
right,
I know the Instagram
right.
page, but I don't know what they do and what it is. So what is Surge Global and what do they do? It's a very big company.
So basically, Search Global is a company. They boost brands online. That's like the most simple way that I can put. But I don't know if Banuk is watching right now. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's like the most simple way I can put it. But like they drive brands through social media, like digital marketing. So right now, it's one of the best agencies in Sri Lanka that does digital marketing very well and to a very good level. So working with them was fun. So, but yeah, that's pretty much about like they do the other stuff and UI designing and
They're branched out.
like artworks, and yeah, so they branched out. But the main focus is they work with brands to promote them and boost them through social media and other digital marketing platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google. There's a lot like there does SEO and stuff. So it's there does so many things basically. So yeah,
Perfect.
simple way to put it. I mentioned it earlier. So yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
What is your typical work day, man? How does your work
Oh,
day go? Is it very hectic?
nice, nice question.
It depends. I think it's a very nice question, man.
Yeah.
Trust me. It totally depends on your day because like if I work five days a week, different or like each day is different from like Monday is different from Tuesday is different from Wednesday because Mondays can be low, you come to work and be like a meeting and you're thinking about a campaign and something like that. Because right now we are currently working from home these days,
You're
but
working
like
with the campaign right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry?
Magic Mango,
Ah,
right?
you're working with the campaign right now. Campaign
Yeah,
right now.
right now we are working from home. We only goes like one day per week. So, but like taking away from like apart from that, like thinking like looking at the past experiences that I had, like past working stuff. So you go on Monday, you have this bit of this anxiety going on, or what's gonna happen this week.
Typical
It's
Mondays,
like
man.
typical
Typical
Mondays.
Mondays.
Like it's like this little this spark of anxiety. It's there. So you go, but it's not that bad. You have a meeting, you have a client meeting or something, and you talk and you does something and you just design for like 2 hours per day. And so it and that's pretty much that's like average. You go, you probably have a meeting or two, and you start getting on designing and do it for like 2 3 4 hours. That's I think that's like average working day, but usually it different from like day to day. So yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, when you said designing, so what sort of stuff do you design? I mean, we talked about it, but like,
But yeah.
let's talk about like the softwares. What sort of softwares do you use to design?
So my primary software is Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people
Yeah.
know, and Adobe Illustrator and Adobe InDesign. I use Sketch here and there, not a lot, and Adobe XD also.
Okay, okay.
So those are like my main primary tools when it comes to designing. But like the stuff I do on Instagram, the artworks, like 3D stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I use like Cinema 4D, and
Okay,
I
okay.
use an GPU renderer called Octane rendering. So those two are mainly I focus on when it comes to like doing 3D stuff. So apart from that, the cliche designing tools, the Photoshop and Illustrator, like everybody else.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Okay.
InDesign is. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what InDesign is.
So InDesign is basically it's pretty much similar to Illustrator,
Mm-hmm.
but you use it to create like large page documents. Let's say you have 100 pages document. Doing in Illustrator can be a bit hectic, but if you do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
in InDesign, you can get it done faster than Illustrator. So it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much same, but like the functionality is a bit different.
I see, I see. So
Different.
like
Is it like
magazines
something
and
like
books.
Word or something?
Like,
It's not
It's not.
something like
Okay.
Word. Okay, think of like the Word has this function thing like you can add pages, right? You can create
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
book kind of a thing. So
yeah.
that feature with Illustrator mixed on, you pretty much get the idea of the InDesign.
Oh, okay, okay.
so it's for like
I was
magazines and
saying,
all, I think.
Yes,
okay,
exactly. That you
for
mainly
magazines.
used for creating magazines like books, papers,
Books
and
and all.
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You
Books, yeah.
mentioned about 4D,
Yeah, I want to
4D.
touch upon it.
Cinema
Yeah,
4D.
yeah,
So
Cinema 4D.
Cinema
So
4D is like my main. That's like the main 3D software that I use. So the stuff that you see on my Instagram, I created through Cinema 4D. So
okay.
that's purely for my 3D work to like design stuff, like model stuff, and make compositions and all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
You
a.
working with animations and all?
I have done like 3D so which animations, like 2D animations or 3D animations?
Yeah, 3D, 3D.
3D animations, not heavy stuff. I don't work with
Okay.
heavy 3D stuff, but like very light text-based animation. I think I posted few on Instagram. So like very small stuff I've done few animations, like
Okay.
very small scale stuff. So yeah.
Okay, okay.
Piece by Dallas, make it hurt.